Haynes for his Far From Heaven leading lady Julianne Moore for his latest black comedy drama, May December. Let's have a round for May December. Inspired by the Mary Kay Letourneau case, May December plays out 20 years after a notorious tabloid romance between an underage schoolboy and his teacher has gripped the nation. The now married couple, played by Moore and Charles Melton, buckle under the pressure when an actress, played by Natalie Portman, turns up to do research for a film about their past. Here today to introduce us to the movie, please welcome the film's director, Todd Haynes, stars Julianne Moore and Charles Melton, and writer Sammy Birch. Zoom. Come on out. Now, you may be aware that there is one person missing from our panel. The brilliant Natalie Portman is running a little bit late, LA traffic. She's going to join us hopefully any second. Come right forward if you could, and we can put Natalie on the end there. So let's start by buying Natalie a little bit more time with a look at the trailer for May December. Fabulous, absolutely fabulous. Now, Todd, I was going to address my first question to Natalie because the thing that we should point out is Natalie's not just the star of this movie, she's also a producer on it. She brought this project to you. So rather than address her, I'll address you. Tell me about what you made of it when it came through, because I have to say, watching the film, it seems like material that was tailor-made for you.
Well, I don't know if it was tailor-made for me, but I am forever in the depths of what Sammy Birch did on the page, and that Natalie Portman read it and thought of me for it, and that it came to me, and that I got to bring all these incredible partners into the process of making it. Listen, I don't read nearly as many scripts as a lot of my producers do, and as a lot of people do. I think this script was circulating and already making quite a name for itself. And it came to Natalie in a newly formed producing company that she started. This was right at the height of COVID. Everything was shut down. We were all waiting to know when and how we would get back to work. And I was reading more stuff than normal and than usual. But this script just cut through in such a remarkable way. It had such an amazing tone and sense of confidence in navigating this very disturbing territory. And really making you, think about how it is we do tell stories and the cost of that enterprise and the stories we tell ourselves about how we, survive our lives and the way we perform those stories. I think those were the themes that were just so bristling on the page, and it was my excitement to take it on as a director and make it into a movie.
Did you like the idea of kind of the challenge of it as well? Because I think the script does a beautiful job it's never didactic, it's never telling you what to think about these people, any of them, but it walks a very fine line, to keep you on the edge. Directing that is going to be another layer to it. Was that kind of what drew you in as well?
Without a doubt. It was because the script trusted the reader, and I felt like that's what I wanted for the experience of the viewer, to make it be this sort of excited state of curiosity about what's really going on here. Navigating how your feelings shift about these characters as the story unfolds. And so it took, to translate it into film, some choices I thought would have to be fairly bold about how to set that up and make that be kind of an excitement in the movie, the experience of watching the movie. And one way was how we shot it, with these sort of extended shots, a lot of shots in mirrors, where the actors play directly to the lens of the camera as the mirror, as a reflection in the mirror, but also in a very strong and upfront use of music.
We have Natalie Portman, ladies and gentlemen.
Nice to see you all.
Welcome. We were just talking about how brilliant you are. Now, Sammy, can I go to you and just ask? You know, the Mary Kay Letourneau case. It was such a notorious sort of story in the 90s, and you know, a lot of people had a lot of opinions about it, like we seem to love to do with sordid details and all the rest of it. But to pick the story up 20 years later, you know, and to frame it with this kind of actress coming to have coming to play the part and have a meeting with this woman, with Gracie. Tell me about where those ideas came from. What intrigued you about that? You know, throwing this bomb into the middle of their lives.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to do a literal retelling or recreation, and I felt like looking for any way to pivot or take a step to the left, you know, is always helpful with breadth and space and room for humor and investigation. And so in that case, there's this time gap. I mean, the very first seed of the idea was in thinking about a couple like that, a fictionalized couple like that, what, you know, imagining kids going away to college and an empty house and being, you know, 36 years old and young enough to really start over, but so much that hadn't been said, and just that quiet, like that first opportunity to start to process everything that happened, and also the media blitz that followed that second arrow. So that was really the seed, and then finding a way in, you know, to bring some of that humor with this character of Elizabeth, who's an actress, coming to study Gracie and try and get off her network television show about an animal hospital. It just felt like there was a nice kind of tonal balance of this triangle of these two characters.
I love that she's a network TV actress as well. It's like such a specific thing there. Can I ask, you know, what you described there is, you know, a wealth of possibilities, it sounds like. What you do very well with the script is to balance those possibilities. And actually, so much of the story is in the subtext. It's in glances, it's in looks. How do you bake that in? Like, what's the challenge of baking that in?
I love the term baking, given all the cake baking and yeah. Well, I think it's there's an element of this. There's so much of it is about denial and what's not being said, and so the tension really lies with the audience, and it's like a physical feeling. And I do feel like there's this almost, you know, similar to how a horror movie functions. Instead of like, don't go in the attic, it's like, say something honest, please. Like, I feel like you kind of beg for that in a way with this incredible tension that exists in all these scenes. But so yeah, I think it's just that. It's just choosing those moments of, and a lot of them were, you know, chosen in these performances where you see those masks slip and someone says something truthful.
Well, Natalie, you know, I mentioned earlier that you brought this project to Todd. You were on board for this script very early. What was the experience like for you of reading it? Did you immediately see the possibility in this character?
Yeah, Sammy's script was extraordinary. When I read it, I was so blown away. I mean, to have two female characters that are so deftly drawn and so specific and so nuanced, and then who have this incredible relationship with each other where they're so drawn to each other, but also so combative with each other and competitive with each other, and over who gets to tell the story, who gets to tell the truth. And it was incredible. And some of those lines, I think I discovered how incredible they were as we were saying them. You'd be like, oh, there's so much in the silences. Like, I was talking about in the makeup scene when I asked Julie's character, you know, what was your mother like? And she says she was beautiful. And like on the page that looks, you just kind of go through it, it's so simple. And then when you say it, like all of what is not said and unsaid by that is so, so emotional.
Did you have ideas when you first read it about who could play opposite in the Gracie roles? I mean, I do wonder, obviously Mr. Haynes and Miss Moore have a fantastic history together. I wonder if you were sort of using him to get to...
Well, Todd's just a pawn in I mean, I've been dreaming of working with Todd forever. I'm such a deep admirer of his work, and then had the joy of discovering that he's as fine a human being as he is brilliant an artist. And it's rare that the two of those things are married in a person, but his vision and his artistry are just extraordinary. And then part of the artistry is that humanity, because he makes everyone feel so comfortable and so good and so aligned, and he's so transparent with his intention and his vision, and communicates so beautifully that we all felt so safe and comfortable to be free. And then of course I'm like awe and love and admiration of my entire life with Julie, and her collaborations with Todd have been some of the most meaningful films of my life that have inspired me. So, I mean, it was obviously a huge dream. I didn't really think it would be possible, but of course it was the luck of my life that they both were interested in doing it.